Halvia awoke for her tryst with destiny at the stroke of the midnight hour on the 14th of August, 1947. So did the port of Calcutta. At that historic moment, the tricolour was hoisted over the 25 ships anchored at the port. A new dream was born. An old port geared itself to the maritime aspirations of the new nation. For more than a century, Calcutta has successfully served as the only port for a vast hinterland, from the distant northeast to the landlocked Himalayan kingdoms of Nepal and Bhutan. Topographically, on a focal point, Calcutta Port will grow with the South Asian Preferential Trade Agreement. From the pilot boarding station, the twin dock complexes are located 150 kilometers upstream at Calcutta and 50 kilometers at Haldia. Both are ready to meet the challenge. Calcutta Port is the hub of a road, rail, inland water transport network that covers a massive and developing hinterland. Haldia Dock 2 is supported by this network, handling more than 10 million tons every year by railways alone. A close look at the Calcutta Port Trust system with dock complexes at Calcutta and Haldia can tell the story of why major national and international shipping lines and maritime transporters continue to call at Calcutta Port. Because Calcutta is one of India's fastest growing ports. The Calcutta Port Trust has shown an annual growth rate of 4.93%, as against that of 3.94% in all major ports in India over the last 3 years. The total cargo handled by the Calcutta Port Trust in the year 1999-2000 was more than 31 million tons. The share of the Haldia Dock Complex was more than 20.6 million tons, and the Calcutta Dock Complex more than 10.3 million tons. The cargo handling at the Calcutta Port Trust recorded a growth of 5.5% over the last year. The growth of traffic at the Calcutta Dock system alone was 12.5% in the year 1999-2000. This was the highest among all the ports on the east coast. The traffic handled individually by the Haldia Dock in the same year was more than 20.6 million tons, which was higher than that of the 6 major ports of the country. This considerable growth in cargo handling at the Calcutta Port Trust has improved its rank one step ahead on the ladder, from 5th to 4th position among all the major ports in India. The performance of the Calcutta Port Trust in the year 1999-2000 was remarkable, and it achieved several records during this period. This year, 2,222 ships left Calcutta after cargo operations. This is the highest number of ships handled in any single port in the country during this year. Among all major ports in India, the Calcutta Port Trust has secured the first position among all other ports in India in absolute increase in coking coal traffic. Second in volume of coking coal traffic, and also in terms of growth rate in other than POL cargo. Third in volume of POL traffic. And fourth in volume of container traffic. The cargo movement through Calcutta Port Trust for the landlocked countries of Nepal and Bhutan has grown significantly. There has been a rise of 47% in Nepal cargo in 1999-2000 over the previous year. The proposed conversion of railway line from meter gauge to broad gauge between Raxaul and Veerganj will further increase the Nepal traffic at CPT significantly. The Calcutta Port Trust has taken several measures to improve its cargo handling by better utilization of deep drafted areas of the port. The lighterage operation introduced by CPT in various anchorage points like Sagar, Diamond Harbour and Kulpi has been very successful. In this system, cargo is unloaded from big mother vessels to the comparatively smaller daughter vessels and barges in the various anchorage points in the deep sea, where higher draft is available to accommodate bigger ships, which otherwise would not have been able to anchor in a riverine port like Calcutta. The lighterage operation has become increasingly popular in the trade. There has been a 50% increase in cargo handling through lighterage in the CPT in 1999-2000. This operation has also increased inland water traffic of the Calcutta dock system by 63.4% during 1999-2000. There is a tremendous potential of increase in inland water traffic in this region. This is happening due to increasing trend in lighterage of dry cargo and possibility of connections to National Waterways 1 between Haldia and Allahabad and National Highway 2 between Calcutta and Sandhya via Guwahati and Dibrugarh, which in turn establishes a link with Bangladesh. A new shore-based station for pilotage has also been constructed at Sagar. A new dimension in cargo handling has been achieved by the Calcutta port by introducing floating storage offtake, FSO, for the first time in India at the sandhead. In this system, Calcutta port is taking advantage of the highest draft of 50 meters at the sandhead, which is not available at any other port in India. The factors which have helped the port to make this progress are increase in labor productivity, improvement in turnaround time of ships, reduction of pre-berthing detention time of ships, increased river draft, and availability of more cargo handling equipment. The proper supervision of the port's working by the management has helped too. The CPT was ranked first in terms of percentage utilization of original outlay for the year 1999-2000. This year, different kinds of cargo were brought back to CPT, which it had lost to other ports earlier. This amounted to around 2,000 TEUs. Some new cargo was also handled at the Calcutta port during this period. Befittingly then, the Government of India's Operation Decongestion has decorated Calcutta Port with 4 awards for outstanding performance as the most efficient among India's major ports by reducing pre-berthing detention time, by improving turnaround time, and by increasing port productivity. Haldia's deep-water dock, designed for today's large drafted ships, is one of the finest. This sophisticated and well-equipped dock handles more than 20 million tons a year of primarily bulk commodities. Around it has grown a techno-economic growth center for industries based and related to the port.
Welcome to Halvia VTMS.
The Vessel Traffic Management System, or VTMS at Haldia, introduced for the first time among the major ports in India, provides effective and safe guidance to ships visiting the port. Calcutta's computerized container terminal is integrated and modern. The latest equipment is a major highlight. The Calcutta Port Trust has taken multi-dimensional measures to improve container handling at Calcutta Port. 10% growth of container traffic at the Calcutta Port Trust during 1999-2000 is significant. In terms of container traffic, CPT ranked 4th during 1999-2000. During the same year, Calcutta Port Trust handled 1,75,651 TEUs, whereas in 1998-1999, the CPT handled 1,60,242 TEUs. The container handling charge in Haldia is one of the lowest in the country. The storage facilities at Haldia Dock are extensive and excellent. The Calcutta Port Trust has taken steps to make the port more competitive. At the Calcutta Dock system, the box rate of several goods was reduced. Some of the major development work completed in 1999-2000 includes completion of the state-of-the-art third oil jetty at Halvia. This was constructed within a record time of 16 months at a cost of 42.30 crore rupees. A pipeline connection from the Jetty to Baroni refinery was completed and a trial run organized. It is expected that 6 million tons of POL crude traffic per annum will be transferred from this jetty to the Baroni refinery. The industrial units at the Haldia Industrial Complex, dealing with liquid petroleum products as a whole, will be benefited by this. The progress and growth in the country's prestigious Haldia Dock Complex has constantly remained significant over the years. To cope with its ever-increasing flow of traffic and demand for cargo handling, a modern, multi-purpose berth, as berth number 11, has already been commissioned. Another multi-purpose berth, berth number 4A, is being developed with private sector participation. Two other berths, berth number 4B and 12, are also under construction. With the addition of these new berths at Haldia, this dock, and therefore the Calcutta port as such, will make a headway in achieving further growth in terms of capacity, efficiency, and earnings. To cater to the increasing demand, the Calcutta Port Trust is going to undertake a techno-economic study through expert consultancy for developing the second dock arm with a second lock entrance at Haldia. Today, major expansion is required to handle increasing seaborne traffic in foreign and coastal trade. The development required for this growth in infrastructure welcomes private and joint sector participation in major port activities. Apart from participation of the private sector in the new berths, their collaboration is also welcome in other upcoming projects of the port. The possibility of setting up a fourth oil jetty at Haldia Dock Complex is being explored. Development of LPG handling facilities at Budge and Roy Chalk by private sector participation have already been approved. An MOU has been signed to set up this facility at Roy Chalk. The financial position of Calcutta Port Trust has been showing signs of steady improvement. In 1999-2000, CPT had an operating surplus of around 223 crore rupees. The Calcutta Port Trust looks hopefully for a bright future in view of some major developments in its operating area. The commissioning of Haldia Petrochemicals Limited and the PTA plant of Mitsubishi Chemicals are likely to give rise to additional traffic of over 5 lakh tons a year. An MOU has already been signed between CPT and Mitsubishi for a guaranteed minimum cargo throughput of 1.3 lakh tons per annum. In addition, LPG handling will be increased by the Indian Oil Corporation at Haldia in the near future. With the merging of many downstream industries at Haldia, the Calcutta Port Trust will be able to handle more than 33 million tons by the next year, in which Calcutta Dock System is expected to handle 11 million tons, and the Haldia Dock Complex is poised for handling 22 million tons. The River Hooghly is infamous for its traps and treacheries. Its bars, bends and bores contribute to the problem of silting. A relentless struggle to keep the lifeline open is always being waged, a constant battle against nature. A war inevitable at any riverine port in the world, especially so with Calcutta, where 17 bars create obstacles up to Sandhead. Dredging the Hooghly began as early as 1907, and it continues to this day on an ever-increasing scale. All these efforts have borne fruit, with the Bedford Channel that has increased the depth by 1 meter since 1997. Morphology, the science of changing rivers, is studied today with greater accuracy along the Hooghly by satellite. To improve draft in the Hooghly estuary, the scheme with the 9th plan requirement of around 310 crore rupees is expected to take off in the near future. Scientific developments have changed the face of Calcutta port. Today, computers handle the ever-growing traffic at the container terminal of the Netaji Subhash dock. This gives the Port Trust management immediate and up-to-date pictures of the entire scenario, from the moment the ship enters the river till it leaves for the high seas. The CPT is ready for implementation of EDI, Electronic Data Interchange, at berth number 7 and 8 at Netaji Subhash dock. This facility is being extended to all types of cargo, both at CDS and HDC. The art of piloting ships from sea to port has not declined with the growth of science, but the fascinating tradition of Hooghly River pilots of CPT has been kept alive even today. The land owned by the Calcutta Port Trust is considerable. Land which is today being economically utilized to help develop port-based industries by private enterprise in the effort to maximize usage and profitability. The transformation of Haldia by the arrival of the dock complex has created a situation for industrial growth unknown to the region. A large number of downstream industries and projects have been born. Additional berths, ship repair services, warehousing, container freight, and port-related ancillaries will provide the necessary encouragement to make the Haldia region into a phenomenal growth center. The Noyachor experiment near Haldia shows the way to the future too. A mangrove plantation created recently checks soil erosion on the island and helps to upgrade the environment. The river created the port. Today, the port must help to rejuvenate the river, to ascertain its own future and those of the generations to come. The Calcutta Port Trust has taken full responsibility to protect the environment. Its mandate for improving the quality of life around the port is carried out by a specialized unit. The Calcutta Port Trust is committed to keeping the river free from pollution. There has been a continuing effort for this. The port's specialized vessels are always busy in measuring the pollution level of the water, which leads to an immediate anti-pollution drive. Through decades of its development, the Port Trust has created a well-planned network of roads within the port areas and its immediate surroundings to establish transport channels for the speedy movement of goods and men. People who live and work in the neighborhood use these facilities every day. And it's not for nothing that the 9th plan has earmarked funds for many projects which will upgrade, update, and widen the horizon of public service that the port already provides. River divers of the Calcutta Port Trust have performed meritoriously, not only on occasions of the port's need, but also for maritime accidents and mishaps in general. The Calcutta Port Trust is known for fulfilling its social obligations. A major gateway to the city of Calcutta, the Howrah Bridge, Rabindra Setu, is maintained by the Calcutta Port Trust. The second phase of its repair work has been taken up by CPT at an estimated cost of 4.4 crore rupees, after completion of its first phase involving 11 crore rupees. For the second phase of the circular rail between Prinsep Ghat and Majid Ghat, allotment of land by CPT to railways has reached an advanced stage. The Calcutta Port Trust has already completed a riverfront beautification program, from man-of-war Jetty to Outram Ghat on the bank of the river Ganges. This has been the millennium gift to the city of joy. This comprises protection of the environment, improvement of ghats, construction of lawns and gardens, a pedestrian mall, a sculpture court, and so on. The men who work for the Calcutta Port Trust and their families are beneficiaries of its social responsibility carried out through numerous welfare measures. Conceived and run as a large family, port employees benefit from major investment in education. Even sports and culture have not escaped notice and have won kudos for everyone. The Calcutta Port Trust celebrates 130 years of its existence. The needs of the port have kept changing, like the needs of the nation. But as always, we have been ready to face the challenges and remove obstacles to progress. But this is a part of the inexorable process of living, a process that never ends, a process that propels both the nation and the Calcutta port forward together. All of us have many miles to go and many promises to keep.